Finally. Welcome. Can you hear me?
Yep, I can hear you.
All right. So, you have to come talk to me nice today.
Yeah,
And
man.
and and come talk to the people that nice as well. So, Major, retired Major. I have it right?
Yeah, man.
Major.
Yeah.
Um, Army Major, Mr. Collin McKoy.
Mm.
So don't worry, when my editor does my videos, you get all the claps and the boom, the bombs and stuff dropping.
Oh, it's
When he does, I have an excellent guy, Stephen. He's in Nigeria too. So Colin, so tell me this now. I want to know, where in Jamaica are you from originally?
Kingston. If I must break it down a little bit further, then you're talking about specifically in detail, born in Rima, grew up on Maxwell
Yeah,
Avenue.
that's
Then,
what I wanted. Come say if you talk to me nice, tell me everything. I left out nothing. I
yeah,
want all of the spice, all of the sugar, everything. I want to know everything
all
about
right,
you.
right,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah,
so
yeah.
you say no, talk to me, where you come from?
Yeah. So, um, went to Alpha Primary, Meadowbrook High, met High to Cass, been popping there and kind of got a track scholarship. I was a social athlete, to the States and went to college up there. And then from
All
there,
right, slow down
as
a bit. So, so you reach out for it. So
in
you come.
summary, my
All right, so I'm gonna come in. I gotta ask you, what happened and wait, because I think you left. Did you? I gotta ask you if you left straight, got to Thailand, or what? Me then
no,
remember.
no,
So,
I,
all right, so you left Jamaica on a track scholarship, correct?
yeah, yeah, basically. And while I was doing college, I used to work at this ladies' Jamaica restaurant named The Pantry up the street,
Okay.
So whenever I wasn't in track practice or doing it, I would go over to her restaurant to go hustle a little bit, you know.
Okay.
She really met me from starting from washing dishes in her restaurants to teach me how to really cook outside the regular home cooking of boiling some dumplings or whatever,
So
you
were
know.
you cooking any at all before you left Jamaica, or is since you work at a Jamaican restaurant in the States?
We're in a Jamaican restaurant. I mean, my cooking is like a standard. Hey, I know how to boil some dumpling
Dumpling.
and mackerel, you know, get to living,
Got
basically.
it, got it. So, but it's when you work at that Jamaican restaurant. Where was it? Where were you? Where was that Jamaican
Yeah,
restaurant?
named the pantry, but it's long closed now. They pushed her out. The government wanted to use that private property that rented out close to the stadium, the Miami Dolphins Stadium
Oh, but that
is where it was.
was, yeah. So you still have to big her up. You still have to give her the props, guys.
All the time, heal her up and, set
What
like
was
a
that? What
change.
was her name? The lady who gave you start in the
Her
cooking?
heart is her name.
Okay.
Is her name.
Yeah,
Yeah.
man.
So,
Always, one of the things I try to make my guests do is, give shout outs to people. Not, I mean, towards the end that were instrumental in anything that you are doing. Because you can't forget for big up the people and not only that, give you something, do something for you, help you,
mhm,
show you something.
right.
So we'll get back to her after. So when you got to this, after you were finished with school, what happened?
Uh, after school, I actually got a job with the Bank of America, and that was short lived because the guys that was working at the bank that I ended up working with was like the customer service guys, but they were working in the customer service for the government credit cards,
Okay.
and they were more retired military personnel, and they were like, "Hey, what are you doing here, young guy? You should go join the military or whatever." So, like, okay, I could do that, and I just went to the recruiting station and next thing you know, I'm signing up to go do some tests to go in the military, and it just kicked off from there.
Okay. So let me ask you a question. When you came up from Jamaica
hmm
on that track scholarship,
hmm
was it transitionable over for you to live here permanently, or
No,
how did that happen?
intent at all. It was just working in school, and then I am quite the uh, opportunist,
Opportunity. Yeah, gotcha.
whatever that was. Yeah. So, I saw an opportunity to acquire documents beyond my
Okay,
stations of visa,
gotcha.
and it was literally offered to me. And I like consulting those who've been around a lot. So
Yeah, because
I was.
the reason why I ask you that question because in some parts of my show I talk to people who are currently living in the States, and
Mhm.
it's more talking about their journey,
Right, right.
right? But I know that you went kind of beyond that.
Hmm.
So, when you say you came on the track scholarship, I know some people are gonna say, so when they said come on track scholarship. So I know how the people that watch will be watching after watching those say, so in using track scholarship and so all right. So you're not forgetting the details, but you
Hmm.
acquire the papers and you get in the military,
Right.
did you know? Did you know that you wanted to cook? Like
No,
to have it a business?
um,
Was it something that you planned?
I enjoyed the cooking. So in during my military time, don't care how rough the deal was, how hard it was. If it was a situation where I'm still at the base, whereas I'm going back home and not staying out there in the field for days or weeks or whatever, the first thing I would do is take off my shirt and then get in the kitchen
Mhm.
and tone down myself by cooking something. So it was a
Oh,
foundation for me.
so it was actually a part of you, but you
Yeah.
actually went from the bottom of the military to the top.
Yes.
What was that like for you? And as a,
Whew,
especially as a Jamaican man,
yeah,
to
yeah.
achieve that level of success in the military. What was that like for you?
It was challenging because it was not ordinary just staying in one sector of the military and just I initially started out as an enlisted guy because at, I didn't have my citizenship when I joined. I was on the green card regular person at that time. Then I got the citizenship and then made some decent ranks. But what happened was the military reached out to me via the military email system, and says, "Hey, we want you to come try out for the special operations community." I'm like, okay. I'm like, okay, well, what do I have to do? So that was like the part of the military where they do their elite soldiers, where you get involved in a lot of shady and dangerous stuff, not just the regular soldier and whatever. Although all at some point may go to war or whatever, but this part you had to go do a tryout in North Carolina for like 2 weeks. They take you through of stuff, want you once they figure out that okay, we want this guy or gal, then they give you a pep talk and say, hey, we want you. At this point, you cannot quit. If you try to, your military career as it is
Over.
over, period.
Okay.
Then then they start to, then they give you a language school to learn a second language. Then after that, then you go to really,
What language?
go
What language did you learn?
French.
French?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. I did French in high school and Spanish in college. Okay, so so you went through your entire, how many years you did in the military? About 20?
20 years and like 8 months.
Okay.
Okay, goodbye. Guess what?
All right. So here, do you currently have family? Because you're living in Thailand full time, correct?
Yeah, I'm living in Thailand full time right now.
Do you have family there? Do you have do you
Yeah,
have children,
my
wife?
I have actually kids here. I have some that's in the States, and I'm really so this restaurant thing. I'm really doing it to leave something for them
All right,
to make.
wait. Don't rush it. Don't rush it. We'll soon get there. I'm just trying to set up as to,
Mhm,
what brought you to that. So after you get into your 20 years,
mhm.
what were you thinking? What did you want to do after you were coming up on your retirement?
Yeah, I wasn't sure what I wanted to do. I didn't get to that point yet as far as okay, I'm gonna do this exactly. I just wanted to hang it up, and maybe one of the most common thing would be probably get a civilian job because they love hiring military
For
vets.
people, yes, that's true.
They call them head hunters. They always like to hire, especially if you're officers, but even more so if you're like deep into the special operations community. They like come and pick you off at the side and like, yeah, you're mine.
Okay.
So
So what was going through your mind about what you wanted to do, or how did this restaurant thing even came to be? Because generally, after the 20 years, as you say, most guys,
yeah,
a simple civilian job. What made it different for
yeah.
you?
It happened because I simply my buddies used to tell me, when I was stationed out in Japan,
Mhm.
hey, you need to go check out Thailand. The training exercises we have out there is very good. So I decided, okay, I was gonna do it, but initially I did not. But while but that was 2003 when I was advised to go check out that training. Way in 2018, I was in Hawaii, and I was like, this is like my last 3 years counting down that I'm gonna get out. The army haven't sent me yet because I was waiting for the army to send me. I didn't want to spend my own dough to go do it. So I just hell with it. I'm gonna take myself, and I came here to visit Christmas of 2018, and I was like, whoa, this place is kind of fun, and I liked it so much. I was back there again in February 2019. Yeah, I came back
So,
and joined.
so stop for a second. Tell us. Like for me, I've never. I mean, I might take a trip now. Now
Yeah.
that I know you're there, I might take a trip to visit because I want to visit Thailand as well. But tell us what did you find, especially as a Jamaican, what did you find that was nice about Thailand that you decided to open a business there?
Well, it's a very fun country.
Hmm.
Well, this third world country, you find all kinds of high rises here, but it's well developed. It's fun. There's a lot of entertainment, beautiful sights, temples. The people are nice, very nice, and it was just fun to visit. But what triggered me was the fact that there wasn't a Jamaican restaurant here. You go to a country, most places I've been, you're gonna find if there's a little hole in the wall at least, you're gonna find a little something, And most states I've been to in the States or even in Japan, there was a little place.
Jamaican
So
restaurant.
and ate some of the local food and said, okay, I wanna eat some of my food. I have an urge for my food and I couldn't find it on Google or whatever. And I'm like, opportunity started knocking on my door and was like, so what exactly you're doing again? Because you're about to get out of the army. I'm
So
like,
hold on, Colin. Let me ask you a question now. So here you're thinking about this. What about language? And have you thought about, have these people ever had Jamaican food? Are they going to like it?
oh,
That kind of stuff. What
yeah.
were you thinking?
Well, as far as I'm concerned, as far as the language stuff goes, you deal with that. You learn, you adjust, you learn the language. You simply, and not that I can speak it much, but the locals think I'm fairly
Fluent.
decent, you know.
How they order some oxtails? What they say? I'm just curious.
Yeah, well, they will just point on it because you tell them what it is, and they oxtail.
Oh,
They will
they
say,
don't
oh,
point. So
like as far as a word that they have for it, I don't know what it is, but usually they point to the picture
uh,
and say,
okay,
"What's that?"
so that's how you communicate in a foreign country
Yeah,
what you want to make food. You point in the picture.
yeah, exactly. But they have a lot of little things like us. They have a lot of fruits and stuff like that. They have a lot of coconuts here. They have. I've seen sweet sop, sour sop, jackfruit, um, our type of apples. They
Really?
have, well, yes. Um,
Not
yeah,
American
those
type. Jamaican. We're talking about Jamaican types now, right?
our Jamaican
Types
type
of
of
apple.
apple.
Okay, gotcha.
That's here, and one or two other things. So there were some similarities. They have some mango, but nothing to compare. Like they have some look-alike East Indian mangoes here,
Oh,
but
okay.
very sweet, but not sweet enough to scratch your throat. But
But
uh,
it can't go
it
on. So
can
all
go.
right. So here you are now. You couldn't find any Jamaican restaurant.
Yeah,
So
I
tell us
could.
now, how did you get to that part
Yeah.
where, yeah.
Once I saw that window of opportunity, first thing I did was like, I think I'm gonna start a Jamaican restaurant here because I can't believe this has not happened by someone yet. This could be a game changer, like 1,000 people have said to me since I've done it. So what I did was I call up Mama Pearl, Miss
The same
Pearl, and
lady from that restaurant that you worked at in Florida.
yes.
Okay.
So I said, Pearl, I'm gonna open back the restaurant here in Thailand. Man, she was like, "What? What is wrong with you? You're just about to retire to the military after hard life, working with me, and then going through that military craziness, almost kill yourself, and now you want to go work hard again? Don't expect me to come halfway across the world. You must be losing your flipping mind." Whoa, whoa, whoa. Please, you got to understand, this whole country doesn't even have a Jamaican restaurant. So she's like, "What? Oh, really? Well, you're a Sagittarian just like me, so I guess I won't be able to convince you to not do that, but don't expect me to come halfway across the world because that's too damn far." Like, what? So that's what I started, that I was going to do it. And so at that point, I just started planning, coordinating, doing up a business plan,
But
and start strategizing.
but once again, you don't hear. So here's what I'm saying: you don't open in a restaurant in America or in Jamaica, where we speak the languages.
Mm-hmm.
It's different.
It's
Here you are in a foreign country where you're not
different language.
really fluent in the language and you're opening a restaurant. What were some of the challenges that you faced starting out?
I think the biggest, well, there are two major challenges: communicating with the locals, because they mostly don't mess with English. They're an independent country that has never been colonized, so they're really deep rooted in their culture. So what I do is I use local assistants, and you know my wifey, she's the one that transitions that for me. She's always there with me, and
Is she
she's the
from
one.
Thailand or was she? Is
Thai,
she okay? What do you call them? What do they call like
Thai,
Thai?
Thai,
They're
th.
they're Thai. Oh, okay. Oh, so your wife is Thai, so that helped you with the translation and that
At
kind of stuff.
That's it's fair to say mandatory.
Okay, but I knew it. I knew you wasn't going to settle in a foreign country without having a
You
local.
gotta have local pride. That's kind of their way of operating. Even as a military guy going into a foreign country, you need local guide to traverse the country because they born and raised there, and you are the new person. So who better than a local? So absolutely.
Makes sense. So capital,
Bang.
place, all that stuff.
Hmm.
The back.
Love, lovely. You know what? 99.9%, 99, I'll just say 99% of people that come here, they want to not only want to come back, but want to immigrate here. They want to come and live here. They
Really?
love it. It's just so
I'm
amazing.
coming. But I'm not coming.
Freedoms,
I'm not gonna move, but I'm coming to visit.
it's lovely. Very unique. The same road, it's like everything is shared. How so? The same road you see that Lamborghini driving on or that Mercedes, you see a man pushing his cart. You have to go around him. The road is shared. The
Um,
road is shared. Like, no, what are you doing? Get off the street. There is no mushing up of stalls or whatever. They're like, hey, that's what they can manage to do. We're not going to take away their livelihood. They let them survive. Everyone, if you can modify a motorbike so that you can go sell some rugs and towel or tissue, then so be it.
and they,
No one is there with you, and like you're unsafe. You see people riding on bikes. I'm not even sure to say safe about this one, but their kids, their family. You know what? That's what they can afford. They're not going to try and kill themselves or their family. That's just what they can manage to do, although they have a family. Four people, five
on a
people
bike.
on a
I
scooter.
seen it on the. I seen it on the internet.
Yeah,
How
yeah.
do what about racism for you and being not even so much black,
Hmm.
but being also you're not well, you're American by citizenship, you're Jamaican as well. How does
Yeah.
that fare for you in living in Thailand and that and how does that fare for you?
So two things about that. One, you have the locals and you have the foreigners, regardless of who you are. You're a foreigner. Two, they love us in Asia. They love black people in Asia. They treat
Really?
royalty. Then and this been happening from the early 2000s when I first went to Japan in 2001. But even better than that, a third layer up, if you are Jamaican, they love you.
Wow.
They
I know that about Japan because Japan has
like
integrated themselves in our music and uh, I'm sorry, what you say?
yeah,
Yeah, so I know that
definitely
about Japan. I didn't know that about Thailand as well.
yeah.
So,
For
oh, okay. So for people,
actual
see,
special Jamaica, and then I'm introducing it to them exotic. So we are so we if we only had a clue how much we're loved here and the whole entire Asia, but Europe as well. But I mean, I don't want to go there, and even Africa. When I was in the army and I deployed down there, oh, they like, oh, it's like, do I know you? Oh, welcome, welcome, sister. Oh, they bring you. It's
now
great.
I see how they treat the artists. Like when Popcorn and all them go to those countries,
Oh, God.
Busy Signal, they treat them like royalty. I do see that. So I definitely understand. Oh, so okay. So basically, I was worried. Like, how do you live? Do they give you a hard time? But from what I'm seeing, you made. So you think that you've made a great decision in doing this?
I absolutely did. And there is zero questioning about it because I decided that I'm going to do this restaurant. One, because the void was there. Two, I did not, and I'm going to be very cold hearted here, I did not see the States as a near future feasible somewhere I would like my kids to grow up. I would like them to have an option because I got tired of seeing us being shot down and killed in the streets. I'm like, no, my navel string never cut, yes, sir. I'm gonna like how this are going.
Yeah.
I'm gonna the option. I now have a new mission. My mission used to be to go to war and serve the army in stuff, and stuff has happened. Now I'm getting out. I'm creating my own mission, and this mission is create another home for my family, for my kids, so they have an option because I don't want them to have to deal with this BS. And
Gotcha.
I just saw enough. It's been going on and it's cool, whatever. I mind my own, but I'm like, I just got tired of it and something snapped. So that was a part of the mission. So I came with every ounce of energy I have in me to come and do this, and nothing was going to stop me.
So,
And it's
so what are some of the challenges you when you just started out, when you decided, okay, you got the money, you got the place, all that. What are some of the challenges you faced? Um,
I think the biggest challenges were coordinating the documentation to open a business because they're very paperwork heavy. I'm not sure if Jamaica is still like that. Very paperwork heavy, a lot of documentation, and it's 100% in their language. If it's not, they need it to be converted to. So all that had to be done. But once all that happens, then I still have to deal with bringing all the necessary products over this side to make sure my stuff is authentic. I had no plans to take shortcuts. Well, let me see, they have a different kind of curry here. I'll just use it to make curry chicken. No, I want my real curry chicken, my real curry, rather, i.e., whether it be a
so where do you
graze
get
or
your product? Where do you currently get your products from Jamaica or from the States?
um from the States, you
Okay.
know, to my high school buddy Glendon Garden. He's my main supplier. I mean, we went from going to principal office at Meadowbrook for misbehaving in naughty ways, making trouble, getting flogged over the back, and then go back to our classroom and keep that amongst ourselves, to now him doing in Atlanta doing his thing and getting stuff to me. And I also, due to the military retirement status, I can have a military postal box there. So I have a few stuff coming to me as well, but in smaller scale. But it can be consistent, especially if you know folks.
Okay.
And
So I pretty
that's
much get all your stuff shipped over. So the meats and the oxtails and the goat, do you get that there
yeah,
or
yes, those I can get
okay?
here. You just know the right person. You know, the Muslims guys here I can get the goat
Oh,
from, and then the farms here, cows are everywhere, so I can get the oxtails from the farms to make sure it's fresh. Although you can get it in some major stores all frozen up, but I like my stuff nice and fresh. I skin it myself, me and my guys, and then of course, do what needs to be done to clean it up.
so what about the staff? I see that
Yeah,
you have a couple of
there-
Thai people.
I'm trying to get my brother, my bigger brother, to come here. I'm last, you know. I'm trying to get one of my bigger brothers to come here, but he's working on it because he went to the UK and he's got some paperwork issues. It's kind of stuck. So they're all local people right now. My daughter, my big daughter, she's here since last November. So we're talking about 8 months, but she's more still of a tourist than anything else. She's
They're not
not.
ready for work. They're not ready for work
Yeah,
yet. So how do
yeah.
you communicate with the staff? Are you fluent in Thai?
No, I'm not fluent. I can communicate on a very, very basic level, but I I used to teach at some point in my army career. I've teach college students soldier and military science. So I'm like, okay, I need to teach these kids in English because 90% up of my clientele are foreigners from all over the world that are either familiar with our cuisine already or heard about it or just want to try it, because where I'm located now, it's like the most popular street for tourism in Bangkok.
Because you have a very beautiful. So guys,
Mhm.
I also shared his page on my page. You can check it out. You have a really really beautiful restaurant. So so I mean, I can see, and I see who are some of the people that come into your
Everybody
come.
from all over the world, from the ninja looking Muslim guys to the English people in their suits. Everybody
The
is very,
military people, that the diplomats.
everybody passed through there. So everybody from all over the world. So we
I
got it.
think you have an awesome thing going on. Like,
Yeah,
you found a market, a niche market, and took it and
yeah,
ran with it. And so you're supposed to have bid.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, it's back there. I had another location before this new location, and it was more like in the neighborhood. So I was losing, you know, I was losing, and I just actually let go of that place this very month. Although I even paid for the rent still, I gave it up because I wasn't using it anymore. It was the loss factor, but ever since I hit this gold mine in this new one, it's been, yeah, upscale thing to start recover.
So are most of your the clientele, are they local or mostly foreigners? Because it's in a tourism.
Most of foreigners, because the food, the area, it's expensive as far as renting, because it's such key terrain. It's so key location, so everything is expensive, somewhat expensive, depends how we look at it. As far as just to even rent the place, I mean, you have to compete to even get a spot, and once you get a spot, to maintain the rent. But you're pretty much guaranteed people are going to come because of the popularity of the area. So because of that, you're going to see all the foreigners, but they're going to bring, for the most part, their local companions for those who have. So that's mostly how you're going to get the locals. And occasionally, more often than occasionally, you'll get some locals that come on their own to just come try it out for curiosity purposes.
But Jamaican food is expensive.
Mhm.
I don't eat Jamaican food a lot because it's very, very expensive, as you know.
It is,
Um,
especially in the world now.
one time a week, if I eat out, I buy Jamaican food, because oxtail here, a plate of oxtail in the States is like 20 something dollars now, like $23, or depends on where. So what's the equivalent of that in Thai? Like,
Yeah.
if you were to
So,
look at Thai money to US money.
so $1 is 34 Thai baht, BAHT. It's the
Mhm.
baht. So, you have to put
And
it
how
in.
much for oxtail? So $1 is 34 baht. How much for an
Yeah.
oxtail?
Oxtail meal, that's like 420 baht or whatever.
454,
Something.
yeah. So that's
12.
so that's about $12, something like that.
Yeah.
So it's still better. At least it's 20 something
Yeah.
dollars here.
You
Um,
know, I mitigate as much as possible. I don't get it from the store. I travel a few hours and I go look up and I find a farm. So one, I'm getting my meat fresh to clean it up, and I have my staff do it. So not only am I getting fresh meat and knowing the age of it, but I also mitigate with costs, because now I can manage to send it, be affordable with my price tag, you
so
know.
your restaurant would actually be considered a luxury spot for, somebody that lives there. Where they would be like, boy, I can't go right there. That's expensive. They would say to somebody, that's an expensive restaurant.
Right. Yeah, no,
But
definitely.
I'll come there like a baller because I'm paying $12 for the oxtails.
Yeah. Yeah. And
I mean,
being rich.
but so I'm just trying to give people, what the restaurant is like. But
Yeah.
I'm actually super proud of you for taking that initiative, seeing a niche market, run with it, because it's nice when we can spread our wings.
Yeah.
It's nice when we see our people stepping out there, owning businesses and stuff like that. Now, what would you say to somebody who is trying to um, be an entrepreneur, whether it's in another country
Yeah,
or just becoming an entrepreneur, period?
yeah. I think the first thing from my perspective, one needs to do is see what they're really interested in doing. And if they're bent serious about it, then go after it. There's nothing that can't be done without the necessary risks and efforts and the sacrifice. There is sacrifice involved. My biggest sacrifice was to be away from my kids to come do this, but I have very strong reasons to. And once I set my head to do something, is either ride or die. It's gonna happen, or I'm gonna die trying. So person just need to know, okay, this is what I'm gonna do. Okay, now let me do the research and see how realistic this is. And then once you start go after it, you go after it, man. You have to do your research, and you have to have your resources. And if need be, in a financial type situation, if you have an opportunity to borrow, then borrow. If you believe in what you're going to do, then do whatever needs to be done to get it done. Nothing happens through sacrifice, risks, and determination, So you just have
If
to
you
go
had
after.
to,
Hmm?
and if you had to do anything over, what would you do differently? If you had to do anything over, what would you do differently?
Nothing. I would not, because with everything that I've done, whether it be good or bad, mistakes or not mistakes, they all gave me something. There's something to learn from everything you do, even if it's a mess up. Okay, so what did you learn from that lesson? That's gonna leave a niche, a scar in you to remind you that's wisdom that you're building. So every experience that I've went through in my life has contributed to my knowledge to charter this world, this world. Like,
And you think that if somebody, let's say somebody who doesn't have your military background, and that had the opportunity of visiting said foreign country before, wanting to set up business there, would you recommend that if you want to go set up business in a foreign country, what would be some of the things that you'd recommend for someone who is like thinking about something like what you did?
find a local guide to see how accepting that country is, see if there's a market there for what you're going to do, to see if the business is going to prosper. But more importantly, I'm going to repeat, having a market there with local guide. Local
Sure.
is necessary. There's no way you're going to win over anything without some local knowledge, because that's ground knowledge there that knows the nooks and crannies for one to do. But more importantly, just knowing that there's a market there that
Okay.
will thrive from.
Awesome, awesome. I'm super proud of you. You've done something that not a lot of people have achieved. It's easy to open a restaurant in the US. It
Yeah.
speaks English, and you can get the capital, but to go to the other end of the earth to
Mhm.
do it and to be successful at it, it takes a lot of guts, and I'm proud of you. As a Jamaican, as an American,
Yeah.
all tied up in one, I'm super proud of you. And can you we can part and tell the people where your restaurant is located,
Yeah.
where they can find you on social mediums and stuff like that, because I have done so, but I would
Mhm.
like for you to check it out, so you can share with them.
Yeah. So it's fryingpanjerkgrill.com. It's in Bangkok, Thailand. We definitely need to explore the world more. It's wonderful out here in Asia, as an example, amongst other places as well. So Bangkok, Thailand, Frying Pan Jerk Grill. I'm on IG, Frying Pan Bangkok, um, Facebook, Frying Pan Jamaican Restaurant, and I think on TikTok as well too, Frying Pan and Jamaican Restaurant. Um, but fryingpanjerkgrill.com is the website. But Instagram is, I think, is like the most popular part for us, Frying Pan Bangkok. But it's great out here if anyone can visit. And a lot of guys, I get visitors literally daily, daily. And
Because somebody responded on on my Facebook page, said they've been there, and I'm coming there too. So give me a reason now to visit
it's
Thailand.
lovely. It's like there's something to see every day to marvel your eyes and just like, what the heck? How did they do that? It's like creative mind and thinking. If you let people be free, you'll see creativity unlimited. So you're like, wow, wow, look at that. That could never happen in the States. That could never happen in Jamaica. And it's just so much fun. But the people are beautiful too and nice and, welcoming for the
I
most
would
part.
say for you. That's yeah, because that for me would be one of the questions that I would have, like what it is like, and especially because we're black, and
Hmm.
sometimes we get those problems across the world. But it's so nice to hear that people of the Asian culture, we already know the Japanese love the Jamaican culture. I was already aware of
Hmm.
that, but I wasn't aware of how much the Thai people also appreciate. So that's also something that I've learned today from you as well. And
Hmm.
I just retired major, Collin McKoy. It was a pleasure talking to you today, um, and learning more about what it took for you to get that restaurant together and to keep it there. And I'm super super proud of you. So my the videos are normally chopped up and edited and
Hmm.
promoted. So I want to make sure a lot of people know where to find your restaurants. When if you're visiting that side of the world, to stop by, I am definitely coming. And your food, Mamota wanted. When I was going through your Facebook pages,
Hmm.
my mom was like, huh? The food looks so good, and I look forward to meeting you in person and dining and sharing my life. That here I am, about being at your restaurant as well. And it was a pleasure talking to you.
Hmm.
And thank you for stopping by and talking to me. Nice. Go on to your bed. 'Cause I know it's a morning for you, no, or a night for you.
Yeah, morning, no, son, just right, you know.
Yeah, so I know I rob you of your sleep, but thank you so much for taking the time. God bless and walk good.
Thank,
All right,
thank you.
darling. Bye bye.